Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar. And here we are here going to study about the lazy predictor. Right? This is a library and very special library which will evaluate all the models from the scikit-learn with a single line of code. Okay, so when we have to work with supervised learning problems, a possible solution would be there that we always have to not stick to one particular algorithm. Lot of EDA should be done, outliers should be treated, missing values should be imputed. So many things have to be done. After that, again, we start building so many machine learning algorithms, whether it is a classification or whether it is a regression. So what we have to do here, we have to save time, right? 10 different models, running them, trying out best accuracy and finding out, coming back, tuning the parameters. So like it's it's time taking, right? So what we have in hand is a library which is a lazy predict with which you can train all the models which are available under scikit-learn, right? More like our XGBoost or LightGBM, right? And that too, what we are doing here, friends, we are doing in a single line of code. We are not spending much time. It's a single line of code which will help us to do all the to run all the algorithms under scikit-learn. So if at all we are in the field of machine learning, then definitely we have to import all the libraries, tune the parameters, compare the models, check the performance, right? And with different we have different objectives as well. This process, oh my god, it takes a lot of time. So that's why here we are to study the lazy predict, right? So we are going to learn about this library which is available in Python, which helps in automating the model building, and bunch of algorithms is what it displays with its performance. And finally, as usual, we select the best model out of it. So it is one of the best Python libraries that helps you to automate things, right? It semi automates your machine learning task. So without much code, helps to understand which model will work better without any hyperparameter tuning. Anytime, definitely when we have a problem statement, we really have to apply all the models, right? So without parameter tuning, can we do it? Maybe, right? So it provides not only a classifier, but also it provides a regressor, right? So definitely we all know that for regression problems, we use lazy regressor. For classifier, we use a lazy classifier from lazy predict. So how it is going to work, right? So whatever I have explained is something what we have to understand through the line of code. So whenever we are trying to work without any parameters, right? Uh, I think around classifier will give you 29 machine learning algorithms, right? So lazy classifier for classification problem and a lazy regressor to solve the regressor problems. So what you have to do here, we have to install that particular library, right? So it was not that simple to code. It's quite tedious, but so probably we gave up the idea, right? Just we'll try few models, whatever comes into our mind, and moreover, what we have learned. Like, we will not learn all, right? We are just we are familiar with few libraries pertaining to classification, few libraries pertaining to regressor, like that. But what is that you have to do when we use such libraries? We'll get to know that we could see few libraries which we never used also, which are available from scikit-learn, right? So definitely we'll encounter some errors about the missing libraries, right? We have to go and install it, right? The installation process, we all know. If at all we are going to do with Python, normal Spider, you can go for in Spider, you can go pip install, right? So you can also import like from lazy predict. You can also invoke supervised, right? You can from that again you import classifier and regressor. As usual, the set of things will run, right? How do you load your data set? How do you do imputation? How do you perform feature engineering? All these are a part of our process because we understand the business problem. We resort to classification or regression. But even before you do those things, we even have to understand the EDA. You spend a lot of time for outlier treatment. Maybe we have to spend for imputation. Otherwise, we have to drop the NA values, right? Whether standardization is required or not. So we are not get rid of all the pre-processing. And you all know that for any machine learning algorithm, what we do, we have to do pre-processing. Machine learning is a single line of code only. We know that. It takes not much, 30% of the time. All the time is eaten away by the 80% of the time or 70% is eaten away by our processing. And whatever process we do, right? Pre-processing, what we do, how do you collect the data and all that. So here what we do is all the process you complete, then come here for this. How do you install? Pip pip install lazy predict. But what is that you are going to do? You have to import that lazy predict. Okay. Then for classification, you use lazy classifier. For regressor, you use lazy regressor. This is the installation slide what you're seeing. So just single line of code, you can directly type in your Spider or in your Jupyter, or you can use Google Colab for using this particular library, right? Because we know that installation of all the libraries is not mandatory. Few are readily available, few are not available. You can just check, run it. It says that module not found, you can go and install it. And definitely few versions of Python are stable, few versions of Python are not stable. There could be some version mismatch, right? But such problems will not arise for this library. It's very, very effective and does not throw any errors. Okay, then here we have to pull in. So for a classifier, I'm pulling in lazy predict dot supervised, right? Once we pull in that supervised, in that you have your lazy classifier. You have a submodule called supervised. From that we are using lazy classifier, and whatever I am going to explain you through Spider in Python, we will use breast cancer dataset, right? So breast cancer dataset which you have to predict whether it is a malignant or benign, right? So the good thing is that it's very powerful because for classifier and regressor it is going to support you. So as idea of understanding this concept is that we have to do the EDA part, come here, split your data, the rest of the process is the same, right? So what is that we have to do? Using lazy predict, very, very easy, and it is very, very normal. It's familiar with our scikit-learn. So lazy classifier, you fit the model, okay, and you will receive the predictions. If you see on my screen, once I have written print models, you could see that, oh, my bad. We could see that bunch of things are there in our screen. It gives you types of models, it gives you the accuracy, it gives you ROC and AUC, F1 score, and also time taken for that algorithm to run. Right? So how many are available in scikit-learn? All those will be done here. Right? If at all it is a regressor, if you see it is a regressor. So lazy predict, it's common. Again, the submodule supervised is common. We will import lazy regressor. Right? So from the data sets, whichever you have a regression problem, you can come here, dump onto it, lazy regressor. Right? You will just pass that particular line of code with regressor. So bunch of regressor models will come in a single go, right? So for regression technique, we know that the evaluation metric happens to be adjusted R square value, and your RMSE, right? So mostly we focus on R square and RMSE, right? We want the least RMSE and high square R square should be maximum. That we feel that yes, that is a coefficient of determination R square, which is the best fit what we check for regression. If you see here for classification, if we at all you people remember that the evaluation metric for classification, it is our confusion matrix, or you can go for cross tab, right? And we have to focus even on the type of scenario we are into. The business scenario is more focused, or it's related to healthcare scenario, or you have to check even the cost based what you say analysis, where false negative or false positives play an important role. So false negatives and false positives come into picture definitely for classification. Here they have, it gives directly, it's not a confusion matrix output, but it's a output talking about the accuracy and your AUC. And we know that it's a combination of precision and recall, where we take F1 score into picture. It's a harmonic mean of precision and recall, where you calculate precision and recall from confusion matrix, right? So it's more about having high true positive rate. So these are the two things which we can do here, right? Definitely it is going to save time, it is going to save the cost. When we have large data sets, at a glance, in a single go, you can go and find out the performance of all the models. Generally, yes, we do stacking, right? We try to do kind of stacking, we go for heterogeneous models, but something which is in handy, definitely we would like to try it, right? So very, very short time we take for deciding the best model. So this is a kind of auto ML what we have, right? So let's do it and check. So I would like to go for NumPy package, right? And pandas. Then we have to do train and test split. So that is available. So sklearn dot model underscore selection, you import train test underscore split. So these are a bunch of algorithms we use on our daily basis. I can say NumPy, pandas, train test split. Okay. The new thing is from lazy predict dot supervise, you are importing lazy classifier. So the main package is this, we can say module. From that you are pulling this, in that you are pulling classifier. Okay, even before I have run this my statement, sixth line, I have installed it, pip pip install lazy predict. I did not go for conda install. I have just checked with pip pip. Okay, pip install this one. So now what I'm doing, okay, let us import this. Now I have to load the data set. So for flexibility purpose, we are loading inbuilt data set which is available in sklearn. So I'm loading the breast cancer data set. Right now, this is what I have here. What is that we have to do now? Obviously, when the data set is loaded, we have to go for train test split. So we are separating our target and data. All the inputs on the one side, the outputs on the other side. So what we will do here, when we are finding the attributes, then generally what are the attributes required for predicting whether it's the breast cancer or not? You will have radius, texture, smoothness, compactness, concavity, right? Symmetry. So bunch of things will be there that are kept in X, right? And target. So now what I do, I split it. Okay. So automatically I'll have 4 different variables created, right? And my test size is 0.5. So what does it mean? If it is 0.5, it means that not 80-20 I have taken, I took 50-50. And random state and underscore state equal to 1, 2, 3. It is just like your random dot seed. It we don't want to shuffle train and test data. We are stopping it from shuffling. So here and there should not be jumping of your few of the data points which are there in train data should not jump into test data. Few available in test data should not jump into train data. For that, any number you can give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, anything. It will hold that number will hold your data without jumps into this and that data set. So this train data, whatever we have, this indexes will not will not get shuffled. The data is the same. Underlying data is the same for all the algorithms. Then only you can do a comparison, right? Then what I'll do, I am pulling the lazy classifier. So you can do help of it here. See here, lazy classifier, verbose equal to 0. Ignore your warnings. I don't want it. It's true. Okay. Custom underscore metric and it's none. So what is that you can give here? When a function is provided, the models are evaluated based on the custom evaluation metric provided. Maybe you have written a custom function, right? So when you do this, we are not focusing much on giving a different metric. We are just saying none and we are saying prediction equal to true, a boolean value. So I want to return the output of all the models should be in a data frame format, whatever the classifier is going to do. So lazy classifier fitting the method, specifying the predictions equal to true, right? For each and every observation, it has to predict, it has to return total predictions into a data frame. Any custom metric you want to do, like you will write your own custom functions, right? For metric, you can pass as none. So if at all you want to evaluate your model a different way. Okay. Now I'm running this, right? Now I take this and I fit it on my input and output, right? 29 on 29. So you can check here the number of, it's the same what I'm explaining you. See, this is how the output should appear for us. 29 classifiers, if I'm not wrong. I'm fitting it, right? Now I'm checking the models. Okay, let me take it as a prediction. Why it's empty? Oh, yes. Didn't we fit it? Okay, let me run once again everything in a single go. Yeah, here we go. Right, we got the output. For each classifier, what is the output? Right? For each prediction, what is the output? For 0th index, AdaBoost is giving us output is 1, bagging is giving 1, XGB is giving 1, right? For each. And here we have the model accuracy. I think we can open this. Right? For each and every algorithm. How many algorithms we got here? 29. Right? These are the, so out of this you can take, it's like a snapshot of all the algorithms what you are running, right? Snapshot of all the algorithms in a single go. You can take the best accuracy. First 5 you can take, maybe It's good to go with 10 also. With 10 also in a single go, we can take the output. So we got the predictions in the data frame. So let us do it once. Actually, it should give us a very good, maybe it's a space problem. It's not displaying all the output. Okay, let's do this also as a data frame. Let us see the output of all the models. Yeah, here we go. Balanced accuracy, what we got is a part of slides, the same output here also, right? For linear estimates, there are few algorithms we never come across also. See here, you have dummy classifier, nearest centroid, which are new to us. So, but Scikit-learn is giving you, okay, these are the algorithms which we have. Right? So what you can do, your aim is for the best ROC. So I think till here we can take. Then you can check whether this is good or not. You can again give a try for another changes can be done. Same process, only one change what you do is you will change here as lazy regressor, right? You can change your test size, but random state is fixed, right? So same other things will run. Lazy regressor, print the models, print the predictions. But what will be the output for that? It will be your R square, it will be adjusted R square, it will be your RMSE, and it will be the time taken for running that particular model. So there are few things which should be a significant improvement here. It has a proper list of all the dependencies. So manually, you're not going to install like this. Generally, few things are available, few things are not available. That generally we have to sit and install every library based on the errors we get and all that. Now this in a single go, one library you are installing, everything is in place now. Right now, if at all we can see, we have a very nice table, structured table with results and the predictions. And the training is happening in parallelly, right? Okay, when you have small data sets, it's not at all an issue for us, but large data sets, it takes a lot of time for training, right? And it is very, very nice. And this works very, very good for larger data sets, right? So you can have a dedicated predicted output here for each and every classifier for all the indexes, right? Few things may match here. This is giving as 1, but the others are giving as 0, right? So after you feel that you can take this back, do your hyperparameter tuning. If at all it's not, you are not happy with the accuracy also. For this data set, we are getting very good accuracy. It doesn't mean that for all the data sets, we get the same accuracy. So what is the conclusion we can draw here, friends? Right? It is a very, very convenient wrapper library for us, quickly fits all the models, and you can compare the performance in a single go. So this is something what we can do, and we know that hyperparameter tuning can change the performance drastically, right? So this is something like, AutoML we can say using lazy predict. And only one thing what you have to do is we have to install that particular library, right? We have to install the particular library, right? Any questions?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi. Hi,
yeah,
Dipti. This is Mani Krishna. So I have one question here.
yeah.
So you said that we have the dedicated lazy classifier and lazy regressor. I
Hmm.
mean, so that it will pick out the best algorithm so that we can just proceed with that algorithm for that for the implementations. But here in this lazy classifier, I can see some logistic regressions. where that logistic regression is dedicated to do a regression algorithm, right? So is it something that it is going to be that
Yeah.
marked as 0 or something like
No,
that?
no. Actually, it's a regression. The name is given as a regression, but
Okay.
it does a classification. It's a classification algorithm, but the output of logistic regression happens to be in probabilities. It gives a numeric value as output. Okay.
Okay.
So in that, you what you do is if the probability value is greater than 0.5, you treat it as 1. If it is less than 0.5, you treat it as 0.
Okay, so based on the since all the algorithms have the y output column as like we know that it is
1 and
classifying
0.
classifying
Yeah.
something. So as that output has a classifying
Mm.
something task, so it is
Mm.
like picking out that
Yeah. It is
logic.
actually does a it is a it solves a classification problem only, but
Okay,
it is called as a regression. There's an interview question also.
okay,
Why it does classification, why it is called as a regression?
okay. Since that y output column like it does
It's a
the
numeric.
classification.
Yeah.
Okay, like it converts that probabilities into like discrete 1 or 0 like that.
It does not convert it. Probabilities is what you get. Manually you take a call on what
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
this 1 and
Manually,
0.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Manually, we just convert it like based on the optimal
Yeah.
value. Just we
Yeah.
did.
Optimum threshold. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Paresh.
Yeah, can you share the code, please?
Send the code. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, in the chat, I think.
Yeah, in the chat. It will be fine. No issue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a minute. I am just pasting it. Yeah, I have done it.
Yeah, thank you very much. This was a very nice session.
Thank you.